Federal agents also spent their day in southeast Arkansas. They took a close look at a facility in Kelso. That's in DeShay County. KARK4's Mitch McCoy was in Kelso earlier. He joins us tonight in studio with how people in that town are reacting. Mitch?
Well, Ashley, in the last few hours, Governor Asa Hutchinson opposes the idea of using state sites to house immigrant children separated from their parents at the border. People in Kelso have mixed reviews, but it appears everyone agrees on one thing. The proposed site's infrastructure, it's a mess. It's quiet now, but things may take a quick turn.
Property is at the lower end of a floodplain.
Andrew Wargo III has lived in Kelso nearly all his life. He says the old fishing experiment station federal agents were looking at Thursday are unfit for anyone to live in.
It'll go under a foot of water and stay that way for 24 hours.
People who live here tell me when it rains, it pours. They say this site becomes a big infestation for mosquitoes, snakes, even alligators.
They're not interested in the buildings. They're interested in building tents on the property.
State Representative Mark McElroy lives in Kelso. He says he does not support separating immigrant children from their parents at the border or housing them in DeShay County.
But I would invite our president to come down. Let's spend the night in the tent, and if he can stay all night, I will never complain again.
I don't think that's going to go over very well.
Wargo says he could support immigrants being brought to Kelso if the right infrastructure was in place.
You put people out there in tents, the mattresses are going to be floating out of the tents. They're going to be wading knee deep.
The proposed site is about a half-mile away from where thousands of Japanese Americans were detained in the 1940s during World War II.
And we had 9,000 people that didn't look like us, so we locked them up.
Making people wonder if Kelso could make history again.
There is no official word on whether the feds will use this site or when they will make a final decision. As Ashley mentioned earlier, it is the second site in Arkansas being considered to house immigrants detained at the border. Back to you.
Mitch, thanks very much. And as you mentioned, DeShay County was the site of a Japanese internment camp during World War II. Among the many people brought there in the early 1940s was Star Trek actor George Takei. He said that it's vital to remember what happened there. Tonight, he wrote on Twitter, just heard that they are considering a detainment center for immigrant children just 2 miles from where I spent my childhood, behind barbed wire in a camp in Rower, Arkansas.